Hi, I'm Dr. Sarita Jackson, President and CEO of the Global Research Institute of International Trade. Welcome to another episode of Trade on Tuesdays at 2, where today we ask the question, what does Biden's Build Back Better plan have to do with the USMCA and the WTO? In short, everything. But before I get started with the details, I would like to just ask that if you like the information in today's episode and find it useful and interesting, go ahead and click the like button and feel free to share with others who may find this information useful and interesting. Well, Biden's Build Back Better plan includes a proposal to increase the tax credits for electric vehicles manufactured right here in the United States from $7,500 to $12,500. As a part of that total, $4,500 worth of tax credits will go to those vehicles, the electric vehicles, manufactured in union plants, and an additional $500 worth of tax credits to electric vehicles that consist of 50% or more of U.S. content and U.S.-made batteries. However, this plan gets beyond the domestic agenda and has had or created an uproar within the international trade community, starting with the USMCA or the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Canada and Mexico have expressed their concern over this proposal should it take effect on the impact that it has on the USMCA, particularly in terms of violating some of the rules within this particular trade agreement, such as the regional value content. Now, if you want to learn more about the regional value content, go ahead and click on some of the links below, which consists of blog posts and trade policy briefs by myself and other contributors to GRIIT that explain this regional value content as it pertains to the USMCA in far greater detail. The other concern with respect to the USMCA is what this means for the non-discriminatory measures within the agreement, especially since these tax credits favor U.S. manufacturers of electric vehicles and can have a negative impact on producers in the other USMCA countries such as Canada. So that's number one. Number two, the WTO. That this particular proposal extends beyond just the USMCA to automakers in other countries who have expressed concern about this proposal and what it means in terms of WTO rules or World Trade Organization rules. Automakers from other countries have expressed their concern about it creating an unfair disadvantage for their automakers trying to access the U.S. market, producing here and selling in the U.S. market. For example, on Friday, 25 ambassadors to Washington wrote to U.S. lawmakers in the Biden administration, and according to mainstream media, in that letter, it said, quote, limiting eligibility for the credit to vehicles based on their domestic assembly and local content is inconsistent with U.S. commitments made under WTO multilateral agreements. In short, there's a concern that these tax credits are a form of subsidies and protectionism, which are in violation of the WTO rules, and as I mentioned earlier, would create an unfair disadvantage for automakers from other countries. Well, those are two things that you need to know about how Biden's Build Back Better plan relates to international trade, specifically the USMCA and the WTO. I hope you find this information useful. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Trade on Tuesdays at 2. I'm Dr. Sarita Jackson, President and CEO of the Global Research Institute of International Trade.